Hey everybody, Dr. Infantino from Platinum Wellness here, and today I'm going to answer the question I have absolutely gotten the most of over the last 30 years of practice, and that is, why can I not lose this weight no matter how hard I try? I've tried keto and paleo and intermittent fasting, counting points, HCG, phentermine, you name it. I might lose a few pounds, but then I look at food and I gain it all back. And there is an answer, believe me. And not only is there an answer, but there's a great solution too. So tune in. I'm going to cover all the details, everything you need to know about how to jumpstart weight loss, get it off, and keep it off, most importantly. Hey, Platinum Wellness family. So what I'd like to do today is answer a question that I get a lot, and that's what do I do when I hit a plateau when it comes to trying to lose weight, right? And I think we've all been there. And for a lot of our patients, they're kind of cruising along. A lot of times they're losing up to a pound a day in the beginning, and then all of a sudden everything stops. Well, the first thing I want to explain to you is that's okay. It's pretty normal. In fact, a lot of what people lose in the beginning is water weight anyway. So it wouldn't be normal to just have that continue at that pace. So the question is, okay, I'm 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into some of this stuff. Like, what do I do next? Well, there's really a few different categories of things that we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to talk about how to structure your average day to start burning fat. Now, by the way, make sure that you talk to a coach, you talk to myself about if you're ready for this, right? Because the most important part of any program that we create for someone really is the detoxing, cleansing, gut healing. But a lot of people come because they want to lose weight. Now, if that's not you, don't bother watching this video. It's not going to really be important for you. But if you're one of the people who came because they want to lose weight also, once we get the gut and everything kind of right and you're ready for exercise, this is probably a good video to watch because we're going to talk about exercise, the right food, potentially adding a couple supplements if you like to get even more fat burning going. And most importantly, really how to tie it all together. So what I would like to start with is the basic gist of how do I work my day to burn fat? So one of the things that a lot of research, my own personal experience, and experience with all the patients shows is that the best time to exercise is in the morning. So the idea would be to get up and get your body moving, right? Hormone profiles, everything prefers that you get going early in the morning. So my suggestion would be, and what I do personally is I wake up, I get moving. And by moving, I mean, look, if you're at the point where you could just go for a walk, that's great. If you're at the point where you're like, you know what, I could do a little more than that, then I'm a big fan of high intensity interval training. And I'll explain a little bit more about that maybe in the next video. But the basic gist of the day would be wake up, get your body moving, do it first thing. There's a lot of benefits to that. In addition to changing hormones and burning calories throughout the day, you'll also burn more fat. And the reason being is you haven't eaten anything yet. So I would suggest doing it on an empty stomach. So again, wake up, get moving, empty stomach. Now, as far as a supplement goes, there's one called Fast Start Weight Loss that we have here. It will actually help your body convert fat into energy. See, what your body wants to do initially is convert glycogen or sugar in your body to energy for your workout. The reason I ask you to work out on an empty stomach is so that you can actually use fat instead, because if you haven't put any sugar in, you haven't eaten anything, your body's kind of forced to do that. Now, the whole idea of ramping up fat burning would be first, you're always going to have some sugar in your system. The idea is to get rid of that as quickly as possible. So that's why I like high intensity exercise. Now, high intensity can be a whole bunch of different things to different people. It might be you walk for fast spurts and get out of breath and then slow down your walking. It could be you're jogging slowly and then you sprint. It could be things like you do some burpees. And think of it in short interval breaks, right? So let's say you're riding a bike, even a stationary bike, an elliptical, any of these things. Do a minute or whatever you can tolerate. But the idea of this high intensity is ramp it up so that you're puffing and puffing, right? Breathing pretty hard. And then have a period of recovery. So it might be a minute on, 2 minutes of recovery. A minute hitting it hard, 2 minutes of recovery, and so on. I would suggest do that for about 15 minutes max. At the end of that time, if it's possible for you to just do some steady state cardio, which I mean, go for a brisk walk or keep riding the bike just a little bit, you've essentially burned all the carbs in your system, all the sugar, and now your body's basically just in fat burning mode. And that's all you want to do, get to that point. Now, when you're done, the key would be have a meal that, in my opinion, go with like a protein meal, right? So it could be some scrambled eggs. It could be the protein shake that we have, any version of that, but just think protein. The reason for this is simple. If you put sugar in now, and let's say you have like some brown rice, not unhealthy, but if your fat burning is your goal, you don't want to add carbs at this point because your body's going to say, oh, I'm lazy. I'll burn the carbs first. Forget this fat burning thing. So I would suggest things like even egg whites, protein shake, a piece of chicken, turkey, fish, something like that. That'll actually also secrete a hormone called glucagon. And glucagon is a powerful fat burning hormone. So now the next meal, go a few hours with just that. That's where you want to start adding your carbs, right? So you could add brown rice, wild rice, lentils, quinoa. In the meals, call it between like 11 a.m. and maybe 3 p.m. So maybe you have 2 snacks or 2 meals that include those carbs. When you get to the end of the day, it would be important to switch back to like veggies, proteins, fats. Now, depending on where you're at with this, and again, talk to your coach about it, you might consider just dropping those carb meals entirely for a few days, right? Because that can help a lot. The next thing when it comes to calories and food is think of it in terms of cycling, right? A lot of times what gets us onto a plateau or gets us stuck is we try to hit a certain amount of calories and we do it consistently, which kind of flatlines your metabolism. So let's say you've been averaging like 1,200 calories. I would do 1,600 or 1,800 for a few days, particularly if you could add this style of exercise, you're gonna need more calories anyway. Then you might bring it down to 800 for a day or two, and then you might go back up, right? In other words, keep your metabolism sort of off balance. That's one of the things that makes the biggest difference. In fact, usually what gets somebody onto a plateau in the first place is simply the fact that they've been low cal for too long. So ramping that up and then bringing it back down, ramping it up. And we're only talking over a period of a week. So maybe it's 2 days higher, 2 days lower, 2 days higher. Your body's gonna be like, oh, hey, what's going on here? Okay, I guess it's good to burn fat again. We've getting enough calories, right? So that's another really important piece of the equation. Let's see, sleep, another big one, and staying hydrated. Really critical. Look, you burn your fat at night, the vast majority of it. I know that sounds a little weird, but getting in bed by about 10 p.m. ideally, I would say the latest, will allow growth hormone and some of these other hormones to spike that basically induce fat burning. So take that pretty seriously. Get yourself in bed. If you get sort of into the natural rhythm of the sun, etc., try to get to bed like shortly there after dark. Like I go to bed about 9:30. I pop out of bed about 4:30. Like that's just my thing. It's worked really well for me over the years. And I would encourage you to try to model that. It seems to work the best for most people. Another challenge is a lot of times people will work out later in the day or at night. Well, your hormone profiles to sort of wind your body down are going down and you're asking them to go right back up. So sometimes people don't sleep well when they do that. And so I would highly recommend try to get exercising in the morning. Now, let's say you've done that exercise in the morning. You can always go for a walk at night or something if you want. It's not like you have to be totally sedentary. But that usually is enough to kind of jumpstart any kind of weight loss plateau or where someone's stuck. So again, basic gist of it is when you get up in the morning, get some exercise in. Get some kind of protein meal after that. Middle of the day, do some kind of carbs if you're going to. If you want to stop them for a few days, that'll work also. Towards the end of the day, think veggies and protein again. Get some good sleep and stay hydrated. Super critical. About half your body weight in ounces of water is a really good idea. Another thing you might consider taking is potassium for a few days. Your body needs potassium to burn fat. Everybody's a little different, but in general, most tablets, ask your coach, probably the best way to do it. The next thing that's super important for weight loss is making sure you get enough greens in, right? And the reason I say potassium is because greens have potassium. Sometimes it's just that. We look at somebody's notes in their journal and they're just not eating a lot of green. So I'm a big fan of just like grab a big handful of some kind of mixed greens. They get them at Costco. You can get them almost anywhere. Throw it in a blender, squeeze some lemon in, drink it down. You can also buy a green drink. I mean, we have them here at Platinum Wellness. You can get them almost anywhere, but greens really help with fat burning. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, of course, give me a call your coach, etc. But that will 99% of the time get somebody off this weight loss plateau. And just understand, again, it's totally normal. It's literally supposed to happen this way. The main focus of any game plan that someone's on in the office is to first and foremost get healthy. Weight loss will start in the beginning. Sometimes it stops. almost actually every time it stops. And then we just keep tweaking things so that it restores again or it starts up again. Okay. Have an awesome day. I hope that was very helpful. And again, call with any questions.